Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad here this Friday morning. Got a rainy day ahead of us, but it's going to be pretty tomorrow, so that's a good thing to look forward to. Weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. High today, not getting out of the 50s, and low is going to be around 47. So it's going to be a cool, wet day. But again, it's going to be, we get it out of here, and tomorrow should be a glorious day in the outdoors. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Water temperature is exactly what it was yesterday, 59.5. Take a look at our river readings. The Apalachicola Bluntstown is at a 12.6. Okay, it's got a little bit of a drop to it. And then I'm looking over here at the Choctaw at Caryville. It's pretty level. It's just hanging in there right around 8 foot. And pretty steady the last couple of days, and it looks like it's going to be steady. Now today won't have an effect on the lower end, but on the upper end, that rain, that effect, Larry Brown told us, a lot more effect on the upper end of that Choctaw River than it is on the lower end, especially in winter low tides. Makes a lot of sense if you stop and think about it. Looking at our wind direction, it looks like the north at about 8 to 11, so it'll be blowing in pretty strong. So everything clears out, the night should be good, and tomorrow should be good. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I want to say a good morning to Mike Fitzgerald. Mike's one of our loyal viewers. Talked to his wife the other day, and she said be sure for us to go ahead, for Gail and I be sure and say good morning, Mike. We're just glad you watched our show. Hope to see you soon. Now, we're going to talk, we're coming on this, can you believe this is the last day of January? February will be here tomorrow, and I've got all kinds of things coming up. One thing I want to mention, I observe nature a lot because I just enjoy observing it, and a lot of times it's reflective from the birds I feed, and the animals and the birds are hungry in the month of February. This is a 1 month. There's just not a lot of natural food out there, so if you want to boost up not just your bird feed, but your corn out in the woods and just different things for the animals to eat. And February is their toughest month, I can promise you. I haven't interviewed any of them, but over the years we've observed that, and we've talked about it before, and way back. It's just because if we ever took a deer in February, they were just skin and bones just about it, and it was just they were not much going on. So be sure and take care of the animals in the month of February. And I'm going to give you, on Monday's show, we're going to have a list of things during February. One thing, I'm going to pick out like 2 state parks in the Panhandle and sort of feature them throughout the month of February, maybe 2 a day, not every day, but when I have time to do it. I'm actually going to get a head start today because I've been to almost all these state parks, and I love our state park system. So let's take a look. The first one, they're all stacked up, but Grayton Beach State Park, okay? It's national ranked and all that. Hours, 8 a.m. to sundown, $5 a vehicle, and find all that. It's over there, of course, at Santa Rosa Beach, and 365 days a year. So just a couple of pictures I think is cool. This aerial photograph, is that not spectacular? That's right here in our backyard, folks. I mean, you got fresh water on the left, the Gulf of Mexico on the right. This is our property. This is our state property. Here's a parking lot right there in the center. That's a parking lot where you park and walk out to the beach. If you don't want to go camping, you just go get a state park pass or pay admission, just run out there real quick. So got that one. I'm going to go through them. Here's just some scenic pictures from the area. I just love it over there. And you're right in the middle of civilization, but it don't look like it, does it? There's all kind of cool things. And then you got nature, you got the beach, and you got to walk through nature. I mean, and look at the pine trees, and they didn't get beat up too bad by the storm. And that's a walkway from the parking lot. The beach is right behind us on that picture there. And of course, you got nature and the campgrounds and all. So that is just really, really cool. And you got to watch out for what? You're in Florida, so watch out for the alligators. Okay. All right, next one, we'll jump up here to right north of Bristol, to Real State Park. And we've talked about this before, and this is a special house to us. I've mentioned it again. The Gale's family, my wife Gail, she was a Gregory, and this is a Gregory house, and she's a direct descendant of the Gregory family. And it's fascinating. We've been to it. There you go, one time, Jeff. We got the kitchens on the left. Remember those houses that were built back in the mid-1800s? The kitchen's on the left. They took this house apart on the other side of the river and brought it up here to the CCC, the Conservation Corps, and put it together, the foundation, and then put it together board by board. Amazing. But that house, of course, and then the views from the bluff, looking out toward the river. Let's see, he's walking down the trail. Let's see, all kind of, let's see, here's some campsites right here. I think I put all these together. And a great walking trails. When I was actively hiking the Appalachian Trail, I would go over there and practice my hiking before we went, because it's going up and down the hills and swampland. There's a view of the river. That's where the house was, on the other side of the river, and some river pictures. Okay, so, and I got a little playground for the kids. Can you believe all that? So anyway, and this is, again, it's just a cool place. This is looking back from the water, and you look on the other side of the house. Okay, so that takes care of that. So anyway, that's two state parks that are really, really cool as far as the area where we go ahead and like I said, we're going to list the state parks. We'll start with those two. I'm going to cover all of them in the Panhandle, getting ready for some spring camping. Okay, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I've mentioned this on a monthly basis, and I just want to again mention it. Beware of the crazy drivers out there. I thought it would get better. This past week, I've seen them again. They've come out again, and it's just, I'm talking about locally and not just here, but I've been in some adjacent towns. I thought it was just here in Panama City, but it's like that up there in Shipley and over there toward going up 231. These people, it's all about me, so just get out of the way and let them go. But anyway, just be careful, seriously, and be aware of the other reckless drivers. It's really been, this past year has been really trying as far as having some morons out there driving. I got a couple of pictures. This is good. I'm going to start with one of our, Jose Ponce. He's been on our show before. What a great outdoorsman, great guy. Okay, got this big buck. Here's a better. Let's show Jose in it. Look at there. I got to get him back on. He's a great guy, a great turkey hunter. I see him a lot, but he loves the outdoors. Jose, congratulations, buddy, on that big buck. Let me go back here to, I've got how about a fishing picture right here. Kyle Register, talked to Kyle a lot. He's a good fisherman. We went on the family tradition charters with, if you remember, we did a video with our group that came in from Seasons of Hope, and we had a good trip. But look at this big, that's his first, what he called a Snyder grouper, and these are fairly rare. You don't see a lot of them. So they were, of course, they're commercial fishermen in the wintertime like this. They fish hard, and I just saw where they've had some really rough weather this week. I was reading where one of the Raphael fellows, Clarence, said he'd been on the water his whole life. Thursday, or maybe Wednesday or Thursday, when that wind was blowing really hard, was the single roughest day he's ever had. He said he had actually 10 to 12 foot swells out there, and the stuff in the back of the boat, it'll be sliding back. He thought he was going to have to call for help, and that's the Raphael family. But we forget sometimes when we're on land about how rough it can get. When a captain, like Captain Raphael says, it's 10 to 12 foot seas, it's 10 to 12 foot seas. And I reflected back after I read his report. Yeah, it blew a lot with that rain, but it just, those swells just build up and build up. You got a heavy load. They had thousands of pounds of fish in the back of that commercial boat, and he said it was actually come loose and was sliding back and forth. So that's how rough it was this week out in the water. Okay, this is maybe a family kind of joke here. My daughter and my niece and all them laughed at this. How many loads of laundry can this hold? And the salesperson says, "Ma'am, this is a dining room table." And the wife says, "And?" But anyway, a lot of times they put laundry on the table and don't quite get to it. Okay, let's jump up here to the Piney Creek Plantation, one of our loyal viewers up there in Jackson County, Clay Patrick. And you're talking about a good quail hunt. Check it out at the Piney Creek. Man, I wish I was on that trip. I know that was fun. That's Clay on the far right, and that's a nice mess of quail, and I know they enjoyed it. That's the Piney Creek Plantation. That's up there out of Dawson, Georgia. I'm going to show you. I'm going to tell you what this is. This is a student from Gulf Coast, and she was going to class, and she got a note from Gulf Coast College students. I'm going to read this. This is from Gulf Coast College, because we talk about, this has to do with outdoors now, but it's fascinating. Students, Gulf Coast State College is aware of the coyotes living under the old health science portables on the main campus. Hello, they got coyotes on campus. We're working diligently with animal control to trap and relocate these feral animals to a safe environment. Please be aware, there's a Bay County ordinance on feeding them. So you can imagine some people walking, some students walking by and seeing them under, they probably think it's dogs, they're throwing food out there to them. And it says do not feed feral animals on our campus. So they do have coyotes. The coyotes have actually, now we're talking about how they infiltrate civilization. They've already got to the point where they're going to college. I don't know what class they're taking out there, but they're on the Gulf Coast campus. So if they're on Gulf Coast campus, you probably got them in your neighborhood, just don't know it. But they know they're out there, so I thought that was funny. Now let's go to, we've got a large group of people watch this show that just flat out enjoy the wildlife photography. And I was able to run across this. This is Atlanta Audubon Society, but they're down here in our neck of the woods. They went to St. Vincent National Marine, y'all know where that island is over there on St. Vincent. We've been there many times. And then right below that is St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. That's on down below. A lot of Tallahassee folks, because it's south of Tallahassee, visit it and take pictures and all. But this is a unique set of pictures. I'm going to show you that. I'm going to give credit to the, okay, right here, these are actual photographs coming out of St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. This is Melanie Fur. And this is a bobcat. This is on top of a tree. Nothing spectacular about it. I mean, it's a great picture. We'll agree with that. Now let's move it over. Okay, sort of, wait a minute. Bobcat 1 spots Bobcat 2 coming up the tree at St. Mark's National Wildlife Refuge. So, the antenna goes up and you see how the hair starts rising. So now, you're in a situation now where you have a confrontation. You got Bobcat, that's the exchange, Bobcat 1 and Bobcat 2, and this is nature at its best. They're fighting for dominance and for the territorial control of that tree. And to get that captured on camera for a wildlife photographer, this is just outstanding. And look at that. And I've got one more picture and another, an eagle actually flies over there. That's not, I mean, this is a real life picture. You got gray skies and the eagle flies over there. So that, and I don't know if Melanie took that picture or not, but I just wanted to show, we're talking about wildlife photography, and it's going to be, it's just spectacular. And I thank them for doing that. I want to mention real quick too, I mentioned about Destin yesterday, World's Luckiest Fishing Village, and another thing I didn't get to mention, one of the reasons it's so successful on bill fishing and all, because it's the closest port to what we call the DeSoto Canyon. Now, if you're not familiar with offshore fishing, it probably don't ring a bell, but when you say the DeSoto Canyon, they actually found it goes like 2,700 feet deep. It is a canyon out there. It's not that far. So I picked up some pictures. I just want to show you what we're talking about so you understand. Here's a map. I've got a couple of pictures of it, and you can sort of place it. That's what it's called, the DeSoto Canyon. Of course, that's where the big blue marlin and all sometimes will actually come in. Here's it's a mapping of it, so you see where Destin is. They can get there pretty quick. And one more picture of it. This is a better clue of it. See over there to the top right-hand corner of the DeSoto Canyon where you can get to it? And that is a really deep area. Of course, now with the technology, everything's been mapped, and there's all kind of things that you can see. You got middle grounds and all that. But this is where they get to go. This is why Destin fishing for bill fishing, or if you go over there to the Bass Pro Shop and look at all those pictures of those big marlin, and that's the reason, because they can get there quicker than we can here in Panama City, quicker than can in Pensacola. So I just wanted to pass on to you another reason why the Destin fishing is right there in a particular area so successful. Okay, now let's get ready to do our drawing. I thought I had some more names, but we can't find them. So if I didn't get your names, I promise I'll get them in next Monday. All right, let's take a look at. Let's give away. This is Top Dog Seafood. We've got something special today. You're gonna like this. This will be the $20 gift certificate, and the winner is going to be all the way from Southport, Kelly Starling. Congratulations, Kelly. And a big red snapper is going to be from St. Andrews, Pam Davidson. Had two ladies win today. How about that? Good for y'all. Now listen, I want to do something now. I feel like y'all are family and all my viewers, and I was thinking last night, every Friday when I draw, and finished drawing 2 names, I just hear this all throughout the Panhandle. I can hear it because y'all are disappointed you didn't win anything. I was trying to think of something. It makes me feel bad because everybody, can't win. So I wanted to give y'all a second chance. So what I'm going to do today, I was trying to think of something to make y'all feel better. So hang on, I'm going to make one more drawing, and the winner is going to get a Panhandle Outdoors camouflage cap, brand new. Okay, look at that. How about that? So I'm going to draw for the winner for the Panhandle Outdoors cap. And let me say this too real quick. I was telling Jeff, I haven't done a good job on all of our caps and our shirts and all this paraphernalia. We've got it, but our plate is full. Gail and I just don't have time to send it. We thought we did and all, and people, I get emails all the time about people wanting to buy it and all. I promise you, sometimes one of my goals for this year, make sure early part of the year that we somehow get these back out to our viewers, because I know a lot of y'all want them. We want y'all to wear them. We would love to get them to y'all, but we're going to try to work out a system. I thought I had something worked out before Christmas. It didn't pan out, but maybe it will. Maybe we can still work something out and set it up where maybe you can order or whatever. So anyway, the winner of the Panhandle Outdoors camouflage cap is going to be, all the way from St. Andrews, Hayden Harrison. Okay, Hayden Harrison from St. Andrews. All right, that's our winners. We're going to get set up and give our famous Friday fishing report. Be coming right up. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look at our fishing game forecast. First thing I want to talk about, we want to make sure you understand that this time of the year, no seals are bad. I was out on dock the other day, and it was really fascinating as far as the, not fascinating, it was really painful as far as the sand gnats and all. So make sure you wear long pants, long sleeves and all this time of year, because they're really bad. So have bug away or something, so be aware of that. So I wrote down, first thing I wrote down on this was bug away, get the bugs away. All right, now let's go. I want to start, last week we started over on the west end, we went all the way over there to Hogtown Bayou and Choctaw River and Black Creek and Bunker. Let's start on the east end of our viewing area today. Let's look down, let's go to Carabel, because we talked to Sea Quarters Marina. If you remember, we talked to them on the show 2 days ago. So here's Carabel. I'm gonna keep everything right here in the center, and here's Carabel, and we're looking at Sea Quarters Marina. So what they're doing, of course, they're catching right here in the mouth, go out of Carabel River, and you see the boat right there in the center. See that boat right there? See the 3 or 4 boats? All in that area there. They hang a right and hang a left and go by there behind Dog Island and that area. And that's where they catch the trap. I want to go up the river, what I want to do today. Let's go up the river, and you see just right there, the world's smallest police station. But come on up the river, and you're going to you got the bridge there, and you see where these places, you got some cool places in here, and it's good. You see docks, you got docks all along the way. But come on up into here, and then you start getting up here, not a lot of civilization. And there's some good, you got Crooked River, you got New River coming here. That New River is something special, because that's coming straight out of Tate's Hell. And you got the bluff, so once you get on up in here, and right there in the center, I'm keeping everything in the center when I'm talking about an area. You got some docks there, but keep on going up in here, and you're talking about a couple of boat landings, you can get to it, but what a kayakers and everything. Look how the New River goes up there too, Tate's Hell State Forest. I've always talked about one, but I wanted to make sure I want to do that. I want to do it with somebody. I want to do it not just by myself. I used to want to do it by myself. I want somebody to go with me and just take the kayak through there. So anyway, good fishing in that area right there. So here's what you catch out of that area. You catch trout and brim and redfish and catfish. Okay. Now let's move on over here. Okay, we got the east end. I'm gonna skip St. Joe Bay. And let's go ahead, and East Bay's been pretty strong, but I want to get up in here to West Bay. I got a report coming in here from West Bay, from Crooked Creek. Speaking of, that's a Crooked Creek down there in that end, and we got a Crooked Creek on this end down here. And you have Burnt Mill and Crooked, but here's what one of the fishermen caught. Trout, redfish, bass, black drum, and flounder. All that was being caught out of Crooked Creek. So all the feeder creeks, I mentioned 2 creeks, all the feeder creeks now are like that. The feeder creeks, you don't have to worry about a lot of high water and all. So any feeder creek going into both river systems or going into the bay system are going to be ideal fishing. And also, I mentioned, I called the pier last night. I talked to Carrie at the pier. He said it has been hardly anything. He walked out there. He said he saw a guitar fish, and a squid. And by the way, squid. Remember, we're right around the corner. Squid season be coming in probably in a couple of weeks. It's just warmed up just a little bit. Those squids are going to be coming in, and a lot of folks will be out catching squid, some to eat and some to use for bait. So we're right on the verge of squid season. The Thomas Drive Bridge. I don't ever, when y'all know what I'm talking about when I say the Thomas Drive Bridge, because I fished it many years ago, and it's going to zoom in right here. Okay, where Captain Anderson's is. Okay, right up underneath there. Right up underneath there is really good fishing. I remember catching flounder. Okay, you can park and walk on there, especially at night when the tide was going out. I used to. That's one of my secrets. Now y'all don't. I haven't ever told this on the show. I haven't been there in a while. But when the tide's going out in the summertime, that's an excellent place if you can fish off those rocks there. Like I said, I haven't fished it in a while, but it makes sense. Those flounder, I had to figure it out. And I would sneak in. I wasn't sneaking there; it was all legal. But I'd quietly go in there and fish. I'm talking about now. I'm talking about 3 and 4 a.m. When the tide was moving. Nobody out there. There's a little more traffic now. But anyway, that is a good area right there. Okay, so I'm just throwing them out at random. Let's see. The pass. This is interesting now. One of the fishermen reported the saying a lot of juvenile red snapper are now in the pass. It makes sense this time of year. So if you hook one, try to make sure you sort of revive it. Of course, they're not legal and not big enough to keep anyway. They're about this size. He's real small juvenile red snapper, and all around those rocks. And we're right here on the verge of catching sheephead. I didn't mention sheephead today because we're going to talk about that next week. But we're right on the verge of it. So if you're catching those juvenile red snapper, be sure and try to revive them, and tell them you'll catch them next year out there about 80 feet of water. So okay, going to have to wrap it up. We had a good week. Tomorrow, it got rain today, but tomorrow's going to be a good time to get out there and do some outdoor activities on the water and in the woods. So you have a great outdoor weekend. As always, do something good today for your fellow man and enjoy our beautiful Panhandle outdoors, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.